So welcome to the Success Pattern Show on this beautiful June 21st in 2021. Laura, when did we meet the first time? I know it was in a training room.
Yeah, I have a feeling it was 2018, 2019. And I came for training. Yeah, and I just remember looking at you at the front of the room, and I'm like, this is going to be a really interesting day. Because you are so powerful that not everybody can handle that. And I was watching everyone in the audience about how they were, like, you were teaching, right? And I loved it, like, don't get me wrong. But I thought this is going to be a really interesting day. But I watched how you won them over during the day as you interacted with everybody in their codes and in their bank codes and spoke to them in NLP. Like, so it was really interesting. And ever since then, we've just been friends. And, yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah, we hit it off. I just finished a clarity session with a client and a friend of mine. And it's all about pacing and leading. It's all about, being able to plug into the other person and picking them up where they're at, right, while you're still maintaining at your own level, right? Absolutely. That's a real skill. That's not something that everyone can do. And you're one of the people that can do that. And I'm going to say, Laura, that also, I would assume, and I'd like to hear from you, that your martial arts background has a lot to do with that too. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. I for sure, because, so you go through these phases when you compete. So obviously you join, you learn, you have your learning, you're always learning, but there's a very dense learning period where you go through and you, let's say, get to your black belt level or whatever it is, whatever you want to achieve is your first goal. And that's where you're really focused on you, not so much about the people around you. But the cool thing was that I was forced into connecting and being with everyone around me because our school wasn't so big. So I was teaching at a very low level in my martial arts, right? So I had to learn very quickly how to connect with other people and collaborate with them and make them involved. And, so it was a really unique situation I was kind of forced into. And at the time, I'm like, God, this is a lot of work. I didn't sign up for this, right? But you think about those things, right? I just want to learn, right? So, but, as it ended up being, I ended up being one of the top teachers in the club. And then I started another martial art. And so teaching was just kind of this natural thing I had. And so it really is meeting people where they are, and you're gonna, as you get better and at what you do, you get those people who come in at the level that you were, kind of like the baby step level, right? And you're thinking, and they're you got to think about it that way because they're being vulnerable and putting themselves out there, and they really want to feel like you got their back, right? And so, there can be no judgment. And as a good leader, there just cannot be, because good leaders don't judge others. They are willing to be space for them no matter what that looks like, right?
Yeah, I love that. So, for everyone that's joining on the Success Pattern Show, Laura is not just, and I don't want to diminish that one bit, an absolute incredible, power woman in martial arts and speaker. Tell us, Laura, what is it that you don't do? Tell us who you are and what you do.
Yeah, sure. So, I'm a 3-time world champion martial artist. My students have world championship titles, and so do their students. So I know what it means to create a leadership legacy and what's involved in that. And so that's what I help people do, step into their leadership and beyond. And so before COVID, I still am a holistic practitioner, which I think is a really important part, because the yin and the yang, the hurt and the heal of martial arts, you need both sides. You need both sides to everything to live a balanced life, right? And, what I love about who I am is I'm willing to be disruptive and change the norm and be judged for that, because I really don't care what people think. But it's just because the more people that judge you, the more change, it means you're just making more change. So how much of that are you willing to have? I'm willing to have it however shows up. So, as I was coming up through the ranks in martial arts, I worked as a commodities trader in a private brokerage company for 21 years. I was the only woman on the trading desk.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like breaking these barriers, and there was so much judgment, and I just kept going. Like, and I think, we need to realize that no matter what, if it's something that drives you at the core of you, then you need to step into it regardless of what people think.
Do you feel or think that tenacity is a learned skill?
That's a really good question. So,
because clearly you have it.
Yeah, I think, and my past, which we're not going to get into today, like there was a lot of abuse, right? So I think that as human beings, this is how I'm going to answer that, kind of what the question is. I think I am tenacious because my life has shaped me that way. My actions and the things that have happened to me as a child, as I grew up through my life. So I think everybody is tenacious, but what has shaped you to be that way? Right. And I think, yeah, like I never quit. It's just who I am. I never quit. I never stop. I remember winning my first world championship title in the 3rd round, because it's 3 rounds, 1 minute each, which doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're going full out, if you don't have gas in the tank for that 3rd round, you're not going to win. It's just that simple. Right. So I get in there. I'm like, I am not losing. I am not losing. I'm so tired. I can barely breathe. I don't care. I'm never quitting. Right. And even after the last whistle, when I was still fighting, I got pulled off the person, right? So it's just like, how much do you want it, right? Like, how much do you want whatever it is that you're doing? You don't have to be fighting in a ring. I'm just giving you my example, but it's just, I wanted it bad. I'd been to the World Championships 3 times, and they only happen every 2 years. That was 6 years of my life figuring out what I needed to mold and change to be the best in the world. And I finally hit it. And then once I hit it, I'm like, it's not enough. What else can I do? Right? So yeah, there's a
reoccurring pattern, and that's what this whole show is all about, right? There's a reoccurring pattern that drives you. If you could put your finger on it, what would it be?
I think the pattern is what else is in there that I don't know about that I could do? And not just that, how can it contribute to others? How can I get them to step into it by learning what I learned? Like, I in martial arts, in business, I met so many people who hold stuff so tight, right, to themselves, because they want to feel like they're the expert, or they're insecure, whatever the issue is going on there. I just realized my fan is going on in my back.
Your brick wall is moving, man. You are one powerful woman, let me tell you.
Yeah, so I feel like, that's kind of what I feel like. I feel like, so ask me the question again, I blanked.
No, it was, there's a reoccurring pattern. And I think what you, and you said it so beautifully just now, that it's not just you winning, it's the others winning. And when you said it earlier that you are a 3-time world champion in martial arts, and that that the people that learned from you in your lineage are world-class champions, and that their clients or students are world-class champions. Now you have a traceable lineage and ripple effect of your success.
Right.
And it's not about ego. It's not about, winning could be about ego, but in your case, it's really not. It's about who else can I take along that wants to come and run and do whatever it takes.
Yeah, totally. Like, I want to rule the world. I'm going to rule the world, but everybody's doing it right beside me. So like, let's go. Right. And I really feel that, but there'll be some people who want it and some people who don't. Some people just want to come around the campfire and just be at the campfire. Some people want to make the bonfire and go out there and get it. And so you nurture whoever wants what they want, right? And be willing to recognize that. But my ultimate goal as a human being is to be disruptive in people's lives. And disruptive is always taken in a negative way. I actually love it because it's a positive thing for me to create change for people and have them embrace it instead of be afraid of it, right? If they don't surpass me, I am not doing my job right. It's really that simple for me. Right.
I love that. That is that incredible leadership. That is like, to put it in Covey's words, a number 7, or how do you say, a number 7 leader, right? Or 7th degree leader. in your lineage and in your life, you are a leader. You have, not that you have to, showcase it in any way, but you have, right? It's evident. It's right there.
Yeah.
How do you define success?
Well, I think first of all, you have to be willing to be seen. I think that's a big part of things. I was never willing to be seen for many years. COVID made me willing to be seen. Someone came up and said, well, why aren't you teaching leadership? I'm like, what are you talking about? Right. They're like, are you kidding me? Right. And,
No
because
kidding.
basically my business ended. I couldn't see clients once COVID hit. Right. And so now it's just exploded into this thing that I was doing every single day that I never thought was that special. Right.
Consistency.
So can you ask your question again? Because I think that's kind of part of the answer.
Yes. So what is success for you?
Success for me is having people surpass me. But what success really means to me is I do things that I love to do. I help people and I make more money than I can spend. But if I don't have 1 and 2, 3 doesn't matter. And that's what success means to me.
Thank you for that. That is our time for today. How can people get in touch with you, Laura?
For sure. Check me out at leadershipwithlaura.com. I'm on Clubhouse as well, so make sure you follow me. We're going to be starting a Leadership Warriors room, which is going to be great. It's going to be all about leadership. Don't worry, you don't need to come with swords or anything. Or you can email me at laura@leadershipwithlaura.com. I would love to talk with you and hear more about you.
And I sure hope, Laura, that we're going to also have an incredible leadership call with you here on Be Connected, because then people can see you and hear you. And I'm really excited to be on that show and watch you as you continue to grow. And it's just absolutely fantastic locking arms with you and bringing lots of incredible knowledge and fun and action to the world.
Thank you so much for having me. I miss you so much. I can't wait to see everybody. Big love to everybody.
I know. Ciao, everyone. Thanks for being on.
Bye.
Ciao.